So in this HTML tutorial for beginner, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about HTML. Not just everything in HTML, but the basic stuff you need to know. So without wasting your time, let's get started here. But to actually get started, we will need a text editor or a code. So here I'm using Sublime. So just head over to Sublime test.com. I'll put a link in the description below where you can get it and download it. Once you get on the site, just click on download to window or download from window. You can click here, download, so you download to your window, and then once you run it and you open it up here, you should be able to see something like this. So let me just close this up and start all over. So you wrap that. No, don't save. So in the folder is empty, but let me drag it here again. So you should try to create a folder on your desktop anywhere you want. So name it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. So the folder is empty now. So all you need to do, you can just drag the folder, drag it to the Sublime test, drag it by the side. I already have the same folder, so nothing will appear. So once you drag it, you'll be able to see the folder here. Then right click to the folder and close this up. Right click here and click on new file. So on the new file, before you do anything, you have to save the file. So save, you can press Ctrl S to save, so that's the better, or you go to file, then you'll be able to see something like save there. So here I'm just taking like index.html. So I just say index.html or give you whatever you want here. This name doesn't really matter, give you whatever you want, but this is the most important stuff here because this is the pathway we are working with HTML. So remember to use .html. So if you don't use that, I don't think it will work. It won't work. So remember to use .html. So save. So there are some basic syntax, some basic code you need to write to get started with anything called HTML. So these are the things you need to write before you can write any code that will display on your browser. So you just type in type HTML. So you can just put in some stuff here and close it up. So what does it really mean? This stuff means to tell the browser or to render when it wants to render the code to the browser that you're actually working with HTML5, which is the latest version of HTML. The other thing you need to also do here is that you put in HTML below it, just HTML. Close it with this. So in HTML here, these are called tags. It's HTML here, and you also have HTML here. They are called tags. So why do I have to write HTML and write HTML here again? The reason is that you see that it has a different, here has a forward slash. So the difference between them is that this is called opening tag, and the one with slash, starting from slash after the less bracket here, is called close tag. So remember that anything you open, you close it. Just write the same thing with a forward slash, okay, to close it up. So don't forget that. And what actually does you need to do next is just put in head here. Okay, so head. The head I put here, you need to also put some code in between the head. So the head, remember, anything you put in the head won't appear in the browser, so nothing will show up. But what does really head really mean, and what does it really do? The head, it contains the title, style, meta, tags, and so on. So all will appear here in the browser is that putting the title here. So we put in the title, let's say crazy dev. Is a dev. It's a crazy dev title. So this will show up in the title bar in your browser. So let's check it out. Once you save, make sure you save. Just come here to the file and save. Then locate where you save your folder. I save mine in the desktop. So you're gonna open the folder. Then I think you need to note to actually make sure you save your folder as .html to show up here as HTML document. You can see that here it's showing Chrome because my default browser is Chrome. So right click, you can open any other. So now you have Firefox here, you have Chrome, Internet Explorer, whatever you want, but I prefer using Chrome. So you can see that you have crazy dev type. This is where the file is located. Trying to say where the file is located inside the desktop, HTML, then cause, and you have something like index.html, which is the file name, and this is the folder HTML course. You have to worry about this. So this way it's located. You don't need anything to do with this, but this is the title here, crazy dev title. So next thing I'm going to look at is where you can render some content here to show up in a web browser. So what you just need to do is put in a body here. So remember that it's showing a closing forward slash here to differentiate this one here. So remember that is a different. We have closing and opening. Is a opening tab and closing tab. So in between here, the body, then you put in whatever you want to display to the browser. So you can't put it here. Remember, don't put it within the body. It has to be here. If you really want it to display here. So there's some rule and some syntax you need to follow in HTML. So putting here it won't work. So make sure you put it here. So there's some rule you need to follow. Okay, make sure you follow that to make sure your code runs out properly the way you want. So here, let's try to work on the header. So in this header here, h1, h2, h3 all the way to h6. So the way it's going down, the font size will be reducing. The h1 is the biggest size, while the h6 is the lowest. So if you are counting from h6, which is the lowest, then the way you are going to h5, will be increasing. H4 will be increasing, h3 will be increasing, h2 will be increasing up to h1. So you only have h1 to h6. So let's try that. Let's see how it works. Let's say crazy dev course. So yeah, so let me just have the same thing here. So let's change that. Here we have h2. So you have to do the same thing here. h3, you have h4, you have h5, then you have h6, h6. So when I load the browser, I see that this is the biggest and going down to h6. So let's load that, refresh, and make sure you remember to save your code here. Remember to save it here. So once you're in the browser, you see what I'm saying here. You have h6. This is the h1, which is the biggest, and this is the h6, which is the lowest. You can see it's going down. The font size will be reducing as I'm going all the way to h6. The most important part here is just these three here: h1, h2, and h3. I don't think we really use this. No, don't have to worry about this, but you just got to know it, right? Okay, and just delete all this for now. So the next thing we are going to look at is called paragraph. So paragraph HTML tag, which is just p. Once you put p here, it stands for paragraph. So remember to also close it. So you close it there. Let's put in the paragraph. Let's say paragraph. Our first code. So let's see, go back here, refresh that. You can see that paragraph, our first code. So you can see that appear here on your browser. So good. So next thing we're also going to look at is called emphasis. So what does that really mean? Let's take a look at that here. use the syntax here, just put in em element. So once you put in, just say emphasis. So let's see how it has also work. I think it's safe. Then refresh that. So you have it down here. So remember, emphasis used to render as emphasize text, and just it's nothing special about that, but you guys have to know that too. So yeah, you can also add it to your paragraph here. So let's just clean this up. Let's add it here, em, then em. Remember to close it, but I see it's in between this paragraph here. It will also work, so you don't have to bother about this. So what you need, all this will do is that you convert this paragraph to emphasized. So go to your browser, refresh, you can see that. That's cool. So let me replace that the one it is before, so you can get confused here. I don't want it to be too complex for you to undo. So em, just take it back the way it was, emphasis. Okay. So the next thing we're going to look at now is bold. Bold is used to specify bold content on HTML, so that it will be more unique and standard from the content. So let's try that with another paragraph here. Let's create another paragraph. Let's call this mission is to make a life easy. So this, now you can make it more bold by just putting the B tag, just the way you add the emphasize to the paragraph. So you can see, you open the B here and you close it here. So what you notice that this instead of appearing this the way the paragraph is here, okay, instead of appearing the paragraph, it will make this very bold. So let's refresh that so see how that work. So you can see here, let me go back here, you can see here paragraph here, and we also have paragraph here, but the difference between them is that this one is more bold than the first one here. So you can take a look. The next thing we are also going to look at now is called italic tag. Italic tag is used to write the content in italic format, okay, just similar to emphasis. So now let's write another paragraph here, another paragraph. Let's say code crazy dev. Let's call this crazy dev. I need to do just put in I here. I stand for italic here, so that it's just it in the I. Refresh, you can see crazy dev. So the next thing we're going to check on now is called underline tags. So let's also see how it works. Create another paragraph here, call this P, then remember to give it also the U tag we have been giving it before, like the italic. So in between it here, you can give it whatever you want, you know, just as this. You put B here and means bold, and also close it here. So it's also the same thing as U here, underline with a / to close it. So you can call this underline test. So refresh, see it's underline here. So another thing you can also check is called strike. So let me put in here first so that I won't confuse you. Strike test. So refresh, see it's different from underline. This is just a paragraph. Then in between here, Just say strike. So refresh. You can see here, right from here, like if it is, there's a strike through. So other thing you also be checking is call and tag. So you just put in a here, which is identify anchor, then the hypertext reference where you are linking to. So just put in here, let's say https then 2//hcoschool.com. Then right here, close it. So let's see, put the test here, read more. It should be the link test. So refresh that, see that you have read more. So once you click, it will load up and close this web page. So there's no internet service now. I think my Wi-Fi is off, so sorry for that. So actually once you click, it will redirect you to the web page, but I don't think it's actually proper here. You should be able to open another tab here instead of closing up our page here. So to actually do that, you need to set up the target underscore blank. So this will open up a new tab. So let's check it out. Click it. You can see it open up a new tab here instead of closing up our page here. So that is it for anchor tags. So the next stuff you also be checking now is called image tags. So here you just say img, then the source where your file is located, save. All you need to do is just copy a file or a picture, rather copy a picture, save it here. The picture I have a file type format is called JPEG. I may have a PNG, GIF file, it depends on the file type. So but the one I'm having now is called JPG. So all you need to do is that I use the lame HTML, so just go to your text editor here. I just put in HTML dot, so you need to specify the file type JPG. So if it's PNG, all you need to do is just say HTML.png. So once you save, go to your browser and refresh. So you see you have this huge image here, the width, let's say 200, the height 100. So once you save that, you have the picture here. So with the width and the height, you be able to specify the size you really want. So the next thing you also be checking now is called break. This means just BR. So let's see how that works by adding it here. So if you put break here, so this break, we're just going to break this image down below this link here. So let's refresh. So you can see that you can add more break in between them. You're gonna break down. So let's say if you have more break, so I'll give it more break and give it space. You can see that you can add more breaks to it. So let's move on to the most interesting part here, which is list. So you have other lists and another list in HTML. So the first one you'll be checking now is called other list. So let's give it something like a paragraph. Let's call this other list. There's something you can also add here. Instead of giving it underline, you can give it horizontal rule, which is just like a line here. So it's also can be used as underline. So it's just so you don't need to close anything here. You open it just the way you open the break too. So you don't have to close it, just open it. So you can see the line. It's a very long line. Horizontal rule is an horizontal tag rule. So yeah, you can just put in the other list, which is OL. So you have to specify this list you are about to create, whether it's other list or another list. So in this case, you now then put in the list or the item you want to list. So let's say orange. So let's go this mango. So let's go this choose just give it any layer you want, so that doesn't matter. So let's save. You can see we have that, and this going in number section. We have 1, 2, 3. So that is an order list. So let's also take a look at another list. So let me give it a paragraph here on order list. Yeah, you then have something like instead of using OL, then you're using UL, which stands for another list. Then you'll be having your list inside. Let's call this orange too. Then be having your line mango. Let's call this sweet. So you go to your browser, then refresh. So you can see the different now is the other list which go with a number, then the other list which go for bullet. So there is a difference between them. So I just like to know about comment. So let's see our comment word here in HTML. So all you need to do is just put in this less than sign, then this mark here. You just put in some hyphen, then you can put in anything you want to comment. So let's just say paragraph. Then remember to close that. So this is the way you close it. Put 2 hyphen, then a greater than sign. So that is a comment. So let's keep on adding comments. So let's call this image tags. So you can see that. Make sure you close it right away. So if you don't close it, you're gonna affect your code here. So now let's also check the scrolling text tag. I used to scroll the text or image content like animation. So let's see how that also work. Here it's gonna specify it as marquee. Marquee. So then put in the text you want in between here. Let's say call it scroll. So it tells to be scrolling all over there. So refresh that. So you can see the text here scrolling all the way here. Hope you can see it here. So that is the text scrolling. So there is another tag for you. So right now you can add comment. Remember how to add comment with this symbol. So let's call this scrolling test tag. So that is that for cross scrolling. So another thing you also need to check is called center tag. So if you want to make this text or any other image to be centralized, so use this image. All you need to do is just put in a tag here called center. So you can see that now the image is at the center now. It will be centralized. So right now let's take a look at a table. Table tag is used to create a table in a HTML document. So it's very simple. So let's take a look at how that work. So you just open the table tab and then you open up your uh table role here, which is just tr. Then close it again. Then after that you have your table header your table header, which is just th. So what we like to put in the header, so now if you having something like, let's call this yeah, javascript, and just copy this. Is one of the header. So we have another header here, let's call this html. So you have html, then let's create the last one. It should be css. So you have css. So once you're done with that, then under here you need to create another table rule. So in between the table row, remember this is no longer be a table header. So what you need to do is just the table data td. So let's call this we're gonna give you whatever you want, like len. Let's call this len. Say right. Okay, code. Let's code and deploy. So once you have that set, you can go to your browser, make sure you save, then check it out. So you should be able to have the table here. So you have HTML, CSS. So you see, each len is under the JavaScript, code is under HTML, then deploy is under the CSS. So that's how it works here. So you have the table head here. So this is the table head, the headers, and the table data here. So it'll be very simple to know. So the next one you'll be moving up now, which is closely to the last one. It's called the form HTML form tag. So all you need to do to get started is just start with a form. So let's give it a comment now called input HTML form. So just put in a form here. So the first one you're going to add is label. So in any HTML form, at least you need to have a label, or you give it a placeholder. So we'll be using the both now. Later on you can decide on which one to use. So let's start with label. So let's call this first name. Then your input. So you need to also specify the input type that you want. So is it text or email or whatever you want, you just specify here. Then the next one you'll be looking up is placeholder. So let's call this name. Let's call this input. Yeah, first name. So let's check that alone and see how that work. So you can see that you have your input here, first name. So what it would be nice if we can give it a breakdown to give it this a space. So all you need to do here is just come down here, put in some break here, which is just BR. So this should be enough. Then here you can also add a break to bring up the input separate from the label. So let's see how that's work. So check on that. I think it's cool here. So I have a form. So the next stuff you need to do, let me just copy that. So in between here you can put in the email. So from here you need to change the input type to like email, then input your email. So the next one you'll be looking at is its number. See that mobile number, whatever you want. So here specify it as number, then your input your number. So let's check the difference between all these input type now. So you have your first name, email input also in the placeholder, but the difference between this one and the format that you're going to take in is only for email. So if you are trying to submit without using the right format, you're gonna reject the application. So now you have the number. You can select the number you want here, but you can't input any character except number. So that is different here. So let's check other stuff like radio. So let's call this gender. So you can use this to create a gender. Okay. So as a gender you have a male. So the first one should be radio. Also the second one will be radio. Whatever you want to create, make sure it's always be in radio if you are creating a gender format. So by the time you check it up, you see whatever format you can use to. So yeah, then you have female. So make sure it's still radio. But right now you don't need the placeholder, so you can just erase that. If I open up this, you see that you have a little problem here. So let me just remove this first. Just remove the break there. I'll add some break. I wanted to only get this. I don't want this to be confusing now. Okay, you can see from here you can choose whether you're a male or female, but the problem is that you are choosing the both. So to correct that error here, all you need to do is give them a name and give them the same name. So all you need to do is just come here and put a name. So let's call the gender, and also give it the same name over here. Name, gender, and that is all. It will work. And make sure you also add gender here. In that way, you'll be able to control the radio button. If you're adding up to maybe 4 or 5, just keep adding the same name, give it the same name, so you'll be able to control. User won't be able to select multiple button here. So let me save, Control S. Once you save, go to the browser and reload it. So you can see that you won't have any issue here. So the next stuff you'll be doing now is called checkbox. So just work on this checkbox. And let's call this orange. Remember, you don't need this placeholder. So all you need to do is just put in checkbox here, and that is all. Just copy this. So let's call this mango, pineapple. So by the time you go to your browser and reload this, you should be able to have your checkbox. So these are the checkbox, but let's put in some break here so you'll be able to see that properly. Let me have some break. Then we don't need this break here. We don't need break. Let's remove out the break so that everything will be in inline format. Should be in a row. Okay. So remove that. So you see that here you can select multiple choice. Select whatever you like here. So you see that. So now let's take a look at the select tags here. To get started, just put in a select, then you put in some copies option here, like options. Let's call this orange. Just copy that. Once you run this, it will appear as drop down, be able to select multiple options. You can put in some country, so what I would like to just put in fruit here. So now, so you have a drop down here. You can select multiple options here. You can select whatever you want. See that? You have orange, pineapple, whatever you want. Just put in there. So now you have selected the sweet. Open whatever you want. Yeah. So the last thing you're gonna be looking at here is the button. So you'll see input, then put in button here, or submit. So submit button, then give it a value. So this will appear on the button. So you'll say register. So refresh that, see where it's appearing here. So you have register. Whenever you click on it, the page will refresh. So guys, that's what I have for you in this tutorial video. So if you really enjoy it, you put it in the comment section. If there's anything you don't really get, make sure you comment in below. I'll explain everything you need to know to you guys. So with all this stuff you have been working on, I also put a source code in the description below, and all the tags in HTML you may really work on just to play around with. I'll put everything below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.